Welcome back to the I Will podcast. This is Santiago Brito here again, sharing my story, my journey, and my triumph through this experience that I went through. So, one of the first things that I felt, when everything settled in was guilt. Was it my fault? Was I being irresponsible? You know, I wasn't alone in the car. I was with my cousin. He suffered some tragic things too and lost a leg. And was it my fault? Was I reckless? It was so many things on my mind, but of so many times in my life that I've done crazy things. This was the one night that I really wasn't doing anything crazy. It was so weird. It was like, come on, like I know that I was not like driving reckless. I was not doing anything stupid. Of all nights of my life, I've done a lot of crazy things, man. I grew up in New York City, from 1 to 15, I lived in Washington Heights, 186 in Audubon. From 15 to 28, 26, I lived in the Bronx. So I had my share of experiences of wild things that I've done and risks that I had taken. And, this one was a real hurtful one. It was like, man, look at my body. Like, I was looking at my legs. My legs were burned, 41%. Like, I could see my skin. It was red. It was like live. I was like, this is not real. This has to be a dream. This is going to be over soon. And sometimes I will go to sleep and just say, man, maybe I'm going to wake up and this will just all be a dream. It'll all be like, no, like, you're fine. You didn't go through anything that was like next level, but it was not like that. Like, I kept waking up to the pain, to the hurt. I thought about sex. The first thing I did when I woke up, I was like, man, God, forgive me, man. But the first thing I did was check if my man was working, because I said, Lord, listen, if this man ain't working, man, we just gonna get out of here, man. Like, I don't I don't need to be going through any more pain, and not having that working was like something that I was just like, we need to check. So, but God saved the right parts for me, like I was burned all through my legs except for that part down there. I was like, wow. He said, hold on. And then, he left the money maker, I still got the pretty face. But yeah, man, it was so surreal to see my left leg was like not amputated. It was like a blob. I remember telling my mom, man, I think it's gonna grow back. Like, that's how loopy I was for a while. And everybody would just like, no way. Like, like everybody would look at me like hopeful, but nobody really wanted to, like I would look at myself sometimes as I lay in that bed and be like, man, what the fuck happened to him? Like, what is that? And, you know, that wasn't it. It was still, I was still on drugs. I was still loopy. I was getting all types of drugs, you name it. I probably had it in there, from like liquid nerve pain medication, all types of pills, extended releases. Sometimes I felt like a drug addict in there. I'm not gonna lie to you, it wasn't fun and I didn't like it, because sometimes I just wasn't myself. I was so moody. But I was around such amazing support system. My family, my my nurses that were there. Like, shout out to Sam, shout out to Brooke, shout out to all these nurses that love to spend time with me, and they didn't realize that it's just I'm a social person. My soul wanted to be around people, and I was placed in the right place, man. Shout out to RMC, always. But my emotions were all over the place. I was thinking about sex. I was thinking about, man, the girls are not gonna wanna fuck with me, like. But there was a part of me that, no matter what, still was confident. It was like, I don't give a fuck about that. Bitch is gonna like me anyway. Like, it showed me that no matter what you're going through, your true self always shines through. And I knew that I was a warrior for a long time. I just didn't think that I would be taken through the warrior's journey and have to go up against and take on something so strong mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. But I know that it at first I didn't want to judge it. I don't want to say that I know. At first I didn't want to judge it because, you're like, yo, maybe now this is so I could get this. Maybe now this is so I could gain that. And I just didn't see anything in this life, in this experience that I could just say, hey, you know what? I lost my 2 legs, but it's all right, because I have this. Like there was nothing that I could look at that felt that way. And that's one of the things that really, brought sadness to me, but I knew at the same time that I had to be creative, that I was creative, that there was other patients. There was a young kid in there with me who he had lost both his legs also. And he was so young. He was like 16 years old. And every time I saw him, I would talk shit to him, like where I come from, New York City, man, we talk shit. We don't back down. And every time I saw him, it was like, what's up? You gonna get up? Me and you gonna fight? When we gonna walk? We gonna play some sports? We gonna drive? Because I still had that in me. It was like I lasted that time in the hospital, but I still had that drive, that, it was sad when I would think about it. It was sad when I would sit there and dwell on it and just look. But there was a part of me that was like over it. That was like, you know what? We're still here. Like, let's get it. Let's go after it. Why be sad? Why be sad? And at times that part of myself surprised me. It shocked me. It made me see that there's like this observer within the whole experience, that the observer, no matter what, is happy. It was like there was the the guilt, the sadness, and then there was the happiness, the just acceptance. And not all the time, like I'm not perfect. I'm not gonna sit here and act like I'm just this strong, perfect person, but I just didn't see it how other people were seeing it, if that makes sense. But I'm glad to be here, I'm glad that, I'm glad it was me, because I was able to take it. I was able to deal with it. And I'm able to give you back the feedback and let you know that no matter what you're going through in life, no matter what your struggle is, or no matter what you're up against, it's temporary, man. And it's in your mind. I had the hardest of pains, and I learned the technique that just had to do with breathing. And I realized how you can take your mind away from pain. And trust me, people talk about pain. I was missing 2 feet, body half burned, and I just went through an accident, So I want to leave today with telling everybody that share your story, share your struggle, and you're going to make it. Thank you.